You know how you can learn a ton of English words, but when it's time to actually talk to someone, they just disappear? Yeah, you are definitely not alone. So in this explainer, we're going to tackle exactly that. We're bridging that gap between what you know on paper and actually speaking with confidence. Let's dive in.
So let me ask you something. If I asked you right now, how was your day? Could you answer in English? It's a simple question, right? But it's usually one of the first real conversations we have when we're learning a new language. And because it's so personal, so everyday, it is the perfect launch pad for getting fluent.
Okay, so let's start with the absolute basics, the building blocks. We're going to build up your toolkit with all the key words you need to talk about your day, starting from the second your alarm goes off.
You know, every day kind of has its own rhythm, doesn't it? You've got the morning rush, that afternoon grind, and then finally the evening when you get to chill out. Think of this timeline as a map. It's the story of your day, broken down.
Mornings are all about doing things, right? So we need action words, simple stuff like wake up, brush teeth, get dressed. These are your foundation. And look, you just string them together. I wake up, then I brush my teeth, and I get dressed. See? Just like that, you're telling a story. You're already speaking.
Then, as the day winds down, the verbs change too. The focus isn't on rushing to work anymore. It's on things like cook dinner or watch TV. These are the words we use for relaxing and recharging, bringing the story of our day to a nice, cozy end.
Okay, so you've got the words. Great start. But, and this is a big but, here comes the hurdle that trips up almost every single language learner. You can picture the sentence perfectly in your mind, but when you try to say it out loud, can people understand you? That, my friends, is a whole different ballgame. And look, this isn't just about being a perfectionist. Getting the pronunciation wrong can be a huge barrier. It makes you hesitate, it totally tanks your confidence, and in the end, it just stops you from getting your point across. It's a communication killer. This right here shows you just how crazy powerful pronunciation is. Take the word record, spelled exactly the same. But just listen to what happens when I change where I put the stress. I have a record. That's a noun, a thing. But please record this. Now it's a verb, an action. Same word, totally different meaning. And that is why just memorizing words isn't going to cut it.
So what's the fix? How do we crack this pronunciation code? Well, the answer isn't hiding in another textbook or some flashcard app. It's all about connecting with actual people, using the amazing tools we have today.
The magic word here is immersive practice. Seriously, forget about memorizing boring lists. This is about jumping headfirst into real, live, spontaneous conversations. It's learning by doing. You get to hear the real rhythm, the real flow of a language, the way people actually speak it.
And the best part, this kind of practice is easier to find than ever. There are platforms out there that can connect you with native speakers in more than 15 languages. It's like having a global classroom right in your pocket.
And the benefits are huge. First, you hear real accents, not some robotic textbook recording. Second, you get feedback right then and there. And maybe the most important thing, you get to practice in a totally low-pressure, supportive space where it is 100% okay to mess up. That's how you really build that confidence.
Okay, so you're in a live session. Awesome. Now, how do you make sure you're getting the most out of it? Let's break down a simple, actionable toolkit you can use to start improving your pronunciation, like today.
Think of this as your 4-step roadmap. Step 1, just mimic. Listen to how native speakers talk and copy them, not just the words, but the music of the language. Step 2, drill down on those tricky little sounds that always get you. 3, record your own voice. I know, it's weird, but it's like holding up a mirror to your speech. And finally, step 4, just ask. Ask people to correct you. It's a super powerful loop for getting better fast.
So when I say tricky sounds, this is exactly what I'm talking about. These are called minimal pairs, and they're called that because they are so close. Listen, ship, sheep, live, leave. That one tiny little change in the vowel sound makes a totally different word. Practicing these is like targeted training for your mouth and your ears.
All right, let's pull all these threads together. We started with the basic words. Then we dove into the tricky world of pronunciation. But what's the point of all this? What's the real goal? It's not about being perfect. No way. It's about being understood. It's about speaking with real confidence. And this is what it looks like in the real world. Check out this story about a learner named Priya. She had a really specific problem, that super tricky ch sound in German. Now, she could have just studied books about it, But instead, she got online and practiced with real people. And that specific, targeted practice completely transformed her. She went from being hesitant to being confident.
Because at the end of the day, that's what learning a language is all about, right? It's about connection. It's about sharing who you are, your ideas, your experiences, your story. The words, the sounds, they're just the tools to help you do that. So, let me leave you with this question. You've got the toolkit now. Are you ready to tell your story?